if you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up, but the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that. The history of America is you go to a place where there is opportunity.
Ben Shapiro had an interesting take on the affordability crisis during his appearance on the Trigonometry podcast. I grew up in a working class, mostly Latino community, Reseda, California specifically, 95% Latino. Absolutely loved my childhood there, but it wasn't at all the type of neighborhood or community that has the types of bells and whistles you would think of when you're living in a nice affluent place. And while my parents were able to buy a home there in 1988 for $75,000, if I'm not mistaken, it might have been $150,000. It doesn't matter. It's now worth over $1 million. Meaning that the very neighborhood I grew up in, that I actually wanted to like move up from, I didn't think it was good enough for me because, hey, you should live better than your parents did. You should succeed. I can't afford a house in Reseda, California today. That's how absurd our housing market is. But according to Ben Shapiro, who has no problem funneling as much of our taxpayer dollars to Israel as Israel wants, we shouldn't be concerned about Americans being unable to afford living in the very communities they grew up in. It's infuriating because there is this foundation to his argument that's fundamentally flawed. And the foundation to his argument is that we're just all a bunch of entitled bums who don't want to work and think we should have mansions handed to us anywhere we want to live. But if I can't afford Reseda, California, okay, a working class neighborhood that's now riddled with homes that aren't occupied with young families who are seeking to own the homes. They're occupied by renters because private equity firms bought up homes in that community. Any word on that? Any comments on that, Ben Shapiro? No, Ben Shapiro's a perfectly nice guy. In real life, I mean, I just was on a CNN panel with him. It's civil. He's not rude, he's not terrible in terms of his demeanor, but he's terrible in terms of his arguments.